Hey there, YouTube followers. Michael of Painting War Games, and the figure you're seeing before you is one of my first knobs that I painted. You guys might recognize him from an earlier video where I put him at the end. But today we're talking about the Ork Codex, particularly the troop choices. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm on page 62, and we're going to be talking about the Ork Boys to start out with. The troop section only has two troops, or only has two entries. So this is going to be hopefully a shorter video for you guys. So without further ado, Ork Boys. You get 10 of them for 60 points. They come with, I'll do their stat line first. Ork Boys. Weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 2, strength 3, tough 4, 1 wound, initiative 2, attacks 2, leadership 7, 6+ save. And then you have a boss knob, which is weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 2, strength 4, tough 4, 2 wounds, initiative 3, attacks 3, leadership 7, and 6+ save. And he is an infantry character. So, what do you get? Well, you get the war gear is Slugga, Choppa, stick bombs, which are assault grenades. Special rules are Here We Go, Furious Charge, and Mob Rule. You may include up to 20 additional orcs for 6 points apiece. The entire mob may replace their sluggas for shootas for 1 point a model. The entire mob may take heavy armor for 4 points per model. Heavy armor is giving them a 4+ save. For every 10 models in the unit, one Ork Boy may replace the ranged weapon for one of the following: a big shooter for 5 points, rocket launcher for 5 points. One other model may be upgraded to boss knob for 10 points. The boss knob may take items from the ranged or melee list. The boss knob may take a boss pull for 5 points, and the unit may select a truck as a dedicated transport, which Ork trucks, I'm going to get to right now, Ork trucks can only carry 12 models. Not bad. So, my opinion on the Ork Boys. Now, I have two opinions about these guys, or I have two weapon or two loadouts that I'd like to try. One of them I obviously think is better than the other. The standard boy, without any upgrades. I think the only one I'd give him is I'd replace a Slugga for a shooter, just to give him that extra range, because he already has 2 attacks. Granted, if you leave him the Slugga and the Choppa, he will have 3 attacks plus whatever he gets on the charge. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like him. Now, the one loadout I was thinking about doing, this would be an elitist list of Ork Boys. Ork Boys designed to, in theory, survive. Try to survive getting up to close combat. And that is giving them heavy armor for 4 points. So you're turning every boy into a 10-point model. And you're ensuring that anything AP 5 and above won't cut them down. They'll always get that 4+ save, which is kind of cool. Plus, you're probably going to run a pain boy in a big squad. In my opinion, 30 boys, I'd probably have a knob with, I don't know if I'm going to give him a power claw, but I'm definitely going to toy around with the idea. I'd definitely put a knob in there, and I'd put a pain boy in there, for the sheer express purpose of giving him feel no pain. And the pain boy is going to be sort of near the back, hovering there. I would definitely give him a big shooter. I'm working on a boy right now that I gave a rocket launcher, but then again, I didn't have the Codex, because I think of rocket launchers like the Space Marines. Oh, it's a template-based weapon. Their ballistic skill 2 won't really matter. It's a template-based weapon. It's going to hit more times than not. But their rocket launcher is actually a shooting attack. It's an assault weapon. It's kind of cool. So, what is their rocket? I'm going to look up the rocket launcher right quick. Rocket launcher. 24-inch range, strength 8, AP 3, assault 1. It's cool. You can shoot it every turn. It's an assault-based weapon. Shootas. Where's Shootas? A Shoota. Strength 8, or no, Shoota. 18-inch range, strength 4, AP 6, assault 2. Again, an assault-based weapon. Sluggas. 12-inch range, strength 4, AP 6, pistol. So yeah, if you want to give them, like, and the current build that I have with mine is that I do have them with Shootas. You know, they still have their melee weapon, but I gave them Shootas. Why? And I did it not knowing this, but you know, at 18-inch range with assault 2, they can assault after shooting it, which is cool. Which means they can move and shoot that gun. Even though they are at ballistic skill 2, you have 30 guys. Say all 30 guys make it up into that 18-inch bubble. That's 60 shots going into a squad. And let's say it's a squad of Space Marines. Okay, you're going to say 20 of them hit. Well, I'll give you the math here. I'll say about 20 of them hit. And out of those 20, it's forced to wound. So 10 of them are going to wound. Now, 10 wounds on 10 Marines isn't that big of a deal, but that's 60 shots. You'd be really surprised how many 5s and 6s that you get, particularly because you only need 5s to hit them. So yeah, and the big Shooter is actually even better. Big Shooter, 36-inch range, strength 5, AP 5, assault 3. Now, when I get another box of boys, and there's going to be a lot of box of boys, I am going to always put big Shooters in that. Rocket launches are cool. Big Shooters are better. Why? Because they're assault 3, and they're 36-inch range. So you can, you know, you're at half the range. 36 inches. Even if you guys start out at 12 inches off the sides of the board, you know, a board's 4 foot wide, you've got range to hit a guy 36 inches away right from starting. That your shooter can clearly hit someone on the other side of the table, which is cool. And it's strength 5, AP 5, so that's even better. And it's assault 3, so you got 3 shots, which is great. So yeah. So like I said, there are going to be 2 builds that I'm going to do with them, and one of them is just going to be a test build. One of them is going to make them elitist, going to make them 10 points a model base, so I do have that 4+ save, and see how that runs. Now, granted, if you do that route and you compare the two, you're going to have a 30-man group of boys that's 180 points with no upgrades, and then you're going to have a 30-man group of boys that's 300 points, and they have a 4+ save. Now, that's a 120-point difference between them, and I honestly think in the long run that having more mass on the table will ensure victory. Not that the 4+ save isn't good, but you're having an extra 120 points there where you could dump that 120 points plus 60 more points into a squad, you know, instead of having, you know, and then you'd have 60 guys on the table. So yeah, I mean, the math does add up. The math says having 60 guys, having 30 boys on the table for 180 points is better than having 30 boys on the table for 300 points. Now, I'm going to test this out. You know, if I know I'm going against Space Marines, like say I'm playing in my buddy, and I can't remember what the AP of bolters is. It might be 5. It might be 4. But if it is 4, I'm not going to put it on there. I'm not going to put, you know, I'll have to look it up. I don't have the Space Marine Codex near me. But if bolters are AP 4, I won't put heavy armor on. I just won't. I just screw it. You don't buy. I will run 30-man groups of boys. Now, the other thing is, do you put these guys on the table, or do you put them in a truck? Because you can only put 12 in a truck. Then again, you can still buy a dedicated transport for them, so you can have that transport there, giving them a meat shield in front of them. Good idea. Considering that the truck is only 35 points, or 30 or 35 points base, I'm going to look for it right quick. Yeah, this, even though this is a troop choice, yeah, 30 point space. So, even though this is still a troop video, it is going to go long because I love boys. I honestly think the more boys you have, the better. If you could cram the field, like if you have 6 troop choices of 30 guys each, it doesn't matter how many guns your opponent has. You're gonna start nailing objectives. It's gonna happen. Particularly if every group of boys has 3 big shooters in it, you're gonna start doing very well. All right, so we're gonna go on to Gretchens now. Gretchens are on page 63, and I really don't know much about them because I've never seen anyone play them. So, you get 30 for 35 points. You get 10 Gretchens and a Ruth or a Rune Ruth or a Ruth Herd. The Gretchens are weapon skill 2, ballistic skill 3, strength 2, tough 2, 1 wound, initiative 2, attacks 1, 5, leadership 5, and no save. The Ruth Herd is weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 2, strength 3, tough 4, 1 wound, initiative 2, attacks 2, leadership 7, 6+. War gear, the Gretchens have the Grot Blasta. Let me see if I can find that in the back. The Grot Blasta is strength 3, AP dash, assault 1, 12-inch range. The Ruth Herd has the Grab a Stick, a Slug, and stick bombs, which we know what those are. The Ruth Herd has Here We Go and Furious Charge just for him. You may include up to 20 additional Gretchens for 3 points on model. You must take 1 additional Ruth Herd for every 10 Gretchens in the unit. Any Ruth Herd may replace his Grab a Stick for a Grot Prod for 5 points. The Ruth Herds are 10 points a pop. And any Ruth Herd may take an attack, or may take a Squig Hound for 5 points. Okay, I really don't know what Gretchens are good for. Aside for having extremely cheap troop choices for 3 points a model, I really do not understand. I really don't know what they'd be good for. Yes, they have a better ballistic skill, but their guns are only 12-inch range. I mean, I guess, and now this is me guessing because I've never seen anyone field Gretchens. More to the point, I've never heard of anyone fielding Gretchens. Considering the Ork boy is fantastic for what he is, and even though he has a 6+ save and most things will come down, he'll still get his shit. Ork boys will still get their saving it against Tesla-based weapons. But yeah, I mean, I guess in theory, Gretchens could be that one unit that sits on an objective in your deployment zone and doesn't move. You say, 35 points. I got 35 points left. I will put in 10 Gretchens in this Ruth Herd guy. So you got 11 bodies standing on an objective. And from what I understand what 7th is that every time you hold an objective, you get an objective card or a tactical objective card. So you're constantly, these could be the guys that could be potentially really good in your own deployment zone. Like, you have 2 or 3 objectives. You have 2 or 3 squads of these guys just sitting there in terrain, getting a cover save, because you're going to need a cover save of some sort. Just sitting there and holding an objective. And, you know, you could put 30 of them in there with 3 Ruth Herds in there and just sitting there, just saying, oh, yep, we're here. We got 30 guys. Just come shoot us. Yeah, we got 30 guys. Just come shoot us. You're going to take, it's going to be like 2 or 3 rounds of shooting before you wipe us all out. So I guess that's what their good thing is. They're not made to really shoot. I mean, they do have a better ballistic skill, and they can shoot guys coming into them, which is cool, within that 12-inch bubble. But then at that point, you're going to be within range of getting shot anyways. They're not really made. They're not made at all to attack, given that they're weapon skill 2, strength 2, tough 2. I mean, everything is going to just mow them down. I mean, even Ork boys at their strength 3 can dish out pain to Space Marines on a 4 or 5+. So, and they will have volume of dice going with them, as Gretchens just don't. So, That is my review, or that is my look at of the troop choices. Obviously, the ones I spent the most time talking about are the Ork Boys. Next, we will get on to the Elite section, which is probably one of the sections I know very little about because it involves there are how many? We got Burner Boys, Tank Busters, Knobs, Mega Knobs, Commandos, and Boss Gigrot, which is a character that I would guess goes with the Commandos. Um, Out of all these, I have only dealt with Burner Boys, Knobs, and Mega Knobs ever. I've never come across Tank Busters. I've never come across Commandos or this boss Skink Rot or whatever he is. So, next video will be over the Orcs troop choice, or the Orcs elite choice, who I think won out of troop choice. It's easy to say the boys did. Though I could see Gretchen's being really good if very situational. So, alright, this is Michael of Painting War Games. I'm signing out, and as always, keep gaming.